Hey y'all, I'm Elisa, the Scrappy Wife behind ScrappyWife.com, and today I'm filming one of my favorite videos to film each year, and that would be a tour of my craft room. So a couple of questions that I get asked. The size of my room is about 10 by 12. It is one of the spare bedrooms in our house, and it is upstairs where all the other bedrooms are. I have collected craft supplies and been a crafter since I was about 16 years old. So a lot of this took a long time to gather up, and my organization is kind of always evolving. So keep all that in mind as we start to view the room. I'm going to try to make this a pretty quick tour. If you are interested in me going deeper and like telling you what is in every single drawer and things like that, then let me know in the comments below and I can do a more in-depth tour at another time. All right, let's go. Okay, as you can see, you enter my space like this. I have my desk oriented towards the window, which has been fantastic. And let me just give you a quick overview of what the room looks like, and then we'll kind of focus on a wall at a time. As I go through, I will try to link things down in the description box below. If I miss something or you're looking for something specific, be sure to leave a comment and let me know, and I can find that link for you or answer your question. All right, let's take a closer look. Okay, here is my space right next to the doorway. I get questions on this all of the time. This is a ladder that I purchased from Hobby Lobby several years ago. I just hang it on the door using a towel hanger, and it holds all of my larger papers. Many of these are actually from Italy. You can hand marble paper in Italy. And so my husband and I took a class and had a lot of fun. So I have those papers. I use them mostly as decor. Right to the right when you walk in, this is a new piece in my storage room. This shelf is from Home Goods and it holds all of my planners. I am on the Happy Planner squad this year, and so I receive a lot of planners, but I already had a lot that I was working with. Some of these are old planners, some of these are new planners, current planners, things like that. So I have them all organized in what I feel like is this perfect shelf for them. And then right next to that is my sewing cart. So this is my sewing machine. It is already plugged in. I just pull over a chair so I can sew right here. This is also where I keep some little odds and ends. So this is my die cutting machine from Jane Davenport. And then I have all of my dies back here. I obviously don't have a lot of those because I use my other cutting machines more often. And then some miscellaneous sewing bits and bobs in the rest of that cart. Moving along, this is where I keep all of my Distress Oxide sprays. These are actually acrylic shelves that are used for nail polish, and they work perfectly. Over here, that is removable wallpaper in the background, and my husband helped me kind of frame that out to make it a nice display. And then over the top of it, I have an IKEA spice shelf that holds my current memory planner. Then I have a few projects that are kind of displayed on the bottom right there. And then that is my current Bible journal. So all of that tucked in nicely behind the door. I like how slim it is. It really allows me to use wall space, which is really important when you are really filling up a craft space. One of the best decisions I ever made was to put a television in my craft space. I absolutely love it there. And then underneath that is a card catalog. I got this card catalog at a vintage store in Luckett's, Virginia. My husband custom built the shelf underneath it, which works really well for holding all of my stickers. Within the card catalog, it's just lots of little bits and bobs, odds and ends. I love these small drawers because they're just perfect for craft supplies. And then I have some Happy Planner storage over the top, which includes some of the most recent sticker books, so I know what to grab for when I am creating. Here is a closer look at the shelf. You can see the catalog is all labeled, just different tabs, wooden embellishments, decorative brads, all kinds of little odds and ends. I have a whole row of Felicity Jane supplies that I keep, some different ephemera and fabric bits. So again, lots of just little odds and ends, but these small drawers are a perfect way to keep everything organized. Over top is a large picture ledge from IKEA that I have decoupaged with tissue paper to make it a little bit more creative feeling. And I put completed art journals up there and also art books that I don't reach for all of the time, but I still want to have access to. So that is what is up above my television. And then you get over here to my closet, and this is my primary filming area. Let me give you a closer look at what is over here. Okay, up in the top of this closet area is just storage of old albums, my grandmother's old sewing machine, things I obviously don't reach for very often. Next up are traveler's notebook covers. That is some fall decor, printables, older printables, and my Cricut Easy Press. And you can see what I did was fill this closet with this gorgeous removable wallpaper that is from Target. And I created this filming area because for me, it's easier to control the lighting here and the sound, so it works really well. I have my 3 cutting machines, which would be the Cricut Maker, the Cricut Maker 3, and the Silhouette Cameo are all right there. And then right underneath, I keep my supplies. So that would be my Cricut pens and my extra cutting tools, this little spinning device that has all of the tools I need for weeding and things like that. Over on this side, I have the same type shelf that has my We Are Memory Keepers printmaker, and then just some vintage pieces that I love. At the moment, all of my December daily things are still out as I continue to work on that project, and my album is right back there. This little tower is like a lifesaver in this area. I'm able to get all my machines plugged in, and you can see I still have a lot of extra spaces to plug other tools in, like my heat tool or my We Are Memory Keepers tools, things like that. So that tower has been absolutely fantastic for this area. I don't use a super fancy filming setup. So what I have is this adjustable arm right here that clamps onto the shelf and holds my iPhone. And it works really well. I'm able to move it around for photos and things like that. And then for lighting, I use this. This is a clamped reading light that's LED. You can change the settings on the light to cool or warm, and it works out really well. I have 2 of them that I pull down when I'm recording just for extra light in this area, and they actually plug into power banks that I hide down in this lower area, and I just charge the power banks every weekend, and then they're ready to go for the week of filming. Beneath my filming area are some more storage options. So we put in this kind of faux shelf so I could have a shallow shelf right here. This holds all of my current digital paper pieces that are printed out and cut out. The project bin basically holds digital papers that I've printed out but haven't cut apart yet. And then we have a bin just for vinyl scraps over there. Then these particular storage shelves are from Michaels, and they work perfectly with those 12 by 12 scrapbook cases. And you can see they hold a variety of things. You have Cricut accessories, Cricut materials, miscellaneous cards, Felicity Jane supplies, and then these are miscellaneous supplies. And then these right here are all my cutting mats. And then over there, you have some We Are Memory Keepers tools, some different embroidery hoops, acrylic paint, that's my older acrylic paint, some cutting tools, and then actually one that is holding some vintage books so that I can use them to make junk journals. In between these two shelves is a rolling cart that holds some different collage pieces. So these are things I use in junk journals and for collaging. I use my old Pipsticks. I get the Pipsticks subscription each month, and I use my old bags to hold different categories of pieces. So I have all of those down there. The next one has magazines that I can look through to cut up, tissue paper, some different collage paper. And then in the bottom, I have my labeling supplies, which would be my favorite labeler, the P-Touch Embellish, extra supplies for organizing stamps, and then adhesives, including all of my glue guns and my Ranger tool. To the side of my filming area is where I store all of my vinyl that I use in projects. And this is actually a vintage ladder. And what I did was add clear acrylic on the front and then label each section. And then you can roll up your different vinyl and keep it propped up on the ladder rungs. And what I really liked about this was that it was so slim. It allows me to store so much vinyl in a vertical way. This was a fabulous project, and you can see it's not going to take up a lot of floor space, but it allows me to use all of that wall space, which is absolutely fantastic. I love, love, love that that ladder is there and super functional. I get questions all the time about what these are. These are actually just old vinyl rolls, like the cardboard that you get the vinyl off of, cut up and covered with washi tape, and it helps keep my vinyl all organized and rolled up. All right, normally tucked into this little corner is my planner cart. So this is all things planner. Where I keep a lot of my accessories. This is all different filler paper, all different styles, divided up. I actually use the boxes from old planner covers that are super sturdy, and they work really well for keeping my filler paper all together. And then this is a Happy Planner storage box that keeps some of my smaller sticker books and accessory books, not the full value pack ones, but some of the smaller ones here, and then the skinny paper as well. Then when you go down to the next layer, again, more Happy Planner storage. These boxes come in really handy. Over here are pockets, folders that you can put into your planners, classic size and big size. And then I have some different dashboards that are the dry erase dashboards, and then some vision boards that you can get in accessory boxes. So I have those all organized right there. Then we have different bookmarks and dashboards divided by size. So these are the ones that are skinnier, and you have some larger ones in the back. And then way back there, you see some different pockets that you can add in, envelopes that snap into your Happy Planner. And then we have, I only have one of these. This is the roll checklist. Some different accessories for holding your pens, and then accessory books in the back, as well as some of my favorite little pouches that I grab for at different times. So that is all over there. And then in the bottom, you have some extra stuff. So these are actually planners that I'm currently using and pulling from. I have a Franken-plan system, which means I pull different parts of planners and put them all together in one. So these are the extra dates for the rest of the year that I can just pull from when I'm ready. And then these are all different accessory packs or extension packs that I can use in different ways. And then I have a few wrong supplies over here as well. Another new addition to my craft room is this cart, and I am loving it. It is empty right now because I've cleaned up. But what this is just a bunch of trays, and you can see, you can pick up the trays. They're pretty sturdy, I think. And what I do with this is I organize my videos that I'm going to be filming for the day. So generally I'm filming 2 to 3 videos, and then I can prep some more, and I can just have all the supplies I need on that tray. I can pull that tray out, and then when I'm done, I pile the supplies back on there, move it down, move the next video up to the top, and I have it to work with. And then at the end of the day, I just clean up all of the supplies that are left. You can see the things down there. That's my Fussy Cut and Cutie supplies ready for me to work. So this usually lives right in this section. As I'm filming, I pull it out so I can reach all of my things really easily as I'm filming over in my little corner. Next up, you have my bookcase. This is a Billy bookcase. The depth is the 10-inch depth, and I have had this for a really, really long time. The back, you can't really tell because it's really, really filled, is actually backed with old fence boards just to add a little warmth and character, and it also gives it some extra strength. Up at the top are 2 large bins from Target, and those hold supplies for staging photos and then some extra storage options over on the right. The top shelf has a lot of different Bibles and hymnals that I journal in or study from, and then a huge collection of Archer and Olive notebooks that I'm working in, and some extra art books that I'm also working in currently. This piece right here, I used to have in my classroom when I was a teacher, and it basically holds a lot of different office supplies. I just covered up the front and labeled it with some vinyl, but you can buy one of those at like Home Depot or Lowe's, something like that. Over here, I organize a lot of different trinket trays that I use for pictures, and it's in an acrylic organizer that was actually meant for earrings, but works really well for that purpose. This is my paper shelf. So that would be all of my scrap paper over here, organized in these clear pockets that were meant for dry erase pockets that you can get from the Dollar Tree. I have a whole video about how I organize my scrapbook paper, but this works really well, and it's organized by color, so I can pull it out easily. I have some watercolor paper and some art journals that I'm currently working in. And then over here you have my cardstock. I don't have a lot of 12 by 12 solid colored cardstock, so I usually use 8.5 by 11. Those are organized right here. And then this is how I organize my different cardstock collections in these 12 by 12 envelopes. I keep it organized by company and or collection for the most part. That helps me think as a YouTuber, so I can make sure I know where I got paper from. And also different collections and different artists have a feel to their paper. So I feel like, you know, all of Maggie Holmes' papers go together really well. A few categories in there like Christmas that are more general, but mostly organized by specific collection or release. Next up is my washi tape storage. These smaller ones are actually eyeglass cases from Amazon. I store my washi in color order, so it's rainbow order going through until you get over to this section where you're going to have some rainbow sections. All my Jane Davenport is together. My Happy Planner pieces are together, and some of my Paper House Productions pieces are together as well. This storage is from Michael's. The three smaller ones are from Amazon. And the reason I mixed and matched is just because it perfectly fits my shelf in this way. Right under is my stamp storage. These clear bins are from Target. I store my stamps by category for the most part. You can see the categories clearly labeled on here. I use Avery L pockets, and I always color code the back by company. And again, that has to do with how I work, meaning that I have to know what company things come from when I am crediting them on YouTube. So I want to make sure that is clearly marked. And then the bottom is some Happy Planner covers, some extra sticker storage, extra folders, and then this is how I store old Happy Planner pieces. So let me just move this over. These are old dividers that I can reuse in different ways, generally as vision boards and things like that. And then I also store all of my old covers together so that when I want to change covers, which I normally do every month, I can just easily grab that and flip through the covers I have as an option. All right, moving on to my desk area. This is a fabulous cart that I got from Amazon. It works great. So I try to use every little space in this craft room. Again, this is my job. I have a lot of supplies that I'm using on a regular basis, and I need to make the most out of my space. This slim cart, I think, is only 4 or 5 inches across. It has 4 different shelves. It works great. It holds different ephemera organized by color on the top, and then the bottom has some more Happy Planner supplies. I have my Mambi sticks all right here, a few Disney specific items right here, and then my micro notes as well. Behind that, you might peek that there are some larger paper and stickers. This is stored in actually what is a waste basket from IKEA, and they are just rolled back there. Obviously, those are things that I don't get to very often. My desk setup is actually a custom setup made up of different pieces from IKEA. So it started with this one desk right here. This was my desk in our previous kind of hangout space. When my kids were really little, my husband and I had our desks in the basement so we could be with the kids while we were doing work. So we each had one. This is actually his that's turned underneath. And then on top of those desks, I put them together and then got a new top on them. And they have matching tops right here to give me this L-shaped look that I absolutely love. I love that my desk is positioned by the window. It is beautiful. Then I have a couple of Alex drawer units, this one right here that extends my desk. My husband helped me build this extra little slot right here that actually holds my laptop. It's perfect. And then we have 2 shelves over here, my paper cutter, and then just some different pieces, including my gel plates and some of the cutting boards from the Dollar Tree that I use to back art projects as I'm working. But again, trying to use every little space, thinking outside the box on how I can make the most out of my spaces. You can see that I kind of customize different pieces so that they would work in this particular room. All right, let me give you just a quick peek at what is in all the drawers. You can see they're pretty clearly labeled. Stamping and embossing supplies up here at the top, including my little glitter vacuum that works super well. Watercolors and gelatos all in the next drawer. Then we have current projects, which is a little bit empty right now. This used to work really well when I was on the By the Well for God creative team because I would keep all of that stuff right here. Right now, the different creative teams that I'm on don't really have the same type of gathering of projects. So this one might be a drawer that I revisit in the near future. Then we have mixed media drawers, alcohol inks, things like that, extra inks and pastes, and then some mixed media tools in the bottom that I use on a pretty regular basis. So that is the main set of drawers over on the left. I also have this set of drawers right here in the middle. This holds different ephemera that is organized by collection. Love that particular drawer. I do have a miscellaneous drawer, which would be tools I use a lot. All my rolling stamps are in here, my big date stamp, my AirPods, just lots of little odds and ends that end up in that drawer. And then in this little door area, I have an extra planner holder. This is where my 6x8, I'm sorry, 6x8 is in the bottom. This is where my tape gun is, and some different paints, gouache paints from Arteza, paintbrushes that I use all the time. And then this is where my 6x8 paper pads and my 6x6 paper pads are stored, right behind that door. Okay, again, this is the back side of what one of these desks looks like, and that's just how it was put together. And so we turned it so it would work in this space. I use this is actually the box that my iPad came in, and it works really well in this particular space to hold my iPad. And then what I have in these two bins are different pieces that I use for staging pictures. So I have that one, and then this bin right down here, all kinds of odds and ends that I use when I'm staging pictures for YouTube and Instagram. And then this is actually a rolling cart, paintbrushes all in the top. We have collage pieces. Again, this is just another section of my collage pieces. These are ones that I'm most likely to use in morning journaling, which are why they are over here. And then a ton of different stickers. And then down here, a lot of different stickers, most of which are alpha stickers in this particular setup. And lastly, over in this section, we have a small printer cart that is from IKEA that holds my printer. I have an HP OfficeJet 8025 printer that works really well. I love the HP program, the Instant Ink program, and then I just keep my printer paper and then some basic office and cleaning supplies right there. All right, so this is where I store most of my inks. These are all my Distress Oxide inks. This is actually a cassette tape holder that I picked up at a thrift store for like $8 or $12, something like that, and it works perfect for storing inks. And then I've started to collect these ink holders. These are clear acrylic towers from scrapbook.com. I'm planning on getting 2 more as my collection of Creative Retreat inks grow. And then up here I have all of my wooden stamps displayed in this vintage piece that I got from Luckett's, Virginia. I really do like a mix of new and vintage because I feel like it has a fun, eclectic feel, a really warm and inspiring feel. This is my pegboard. It is huge. It's probably, 4x4 or 5x5, something in there. It is framed out with some old fence boards that match the shelf, the bookshelf. And I reorganize my pegboard all of the time just to make it as functional as I can. I did decoupage the back of that board with tissue paper, punched out all of those holes, and then used a big Jane Davenport rub-on to add that extra little flair over in the corner. Then what I have over here would be my stencils hanging on towel racks that I picked up from IKEA. And this is the best way I have found to have my stencils out and organized and keep them all together. My spray collection has been growing, so I picked up this spinning storage tower from scrapbook.com. You can see that there's some room to grow in it. And so this is just going to be a great place to keep some more supplies out on hand. I like to see my supplies. It inspires me to see my supplies. I think they're beautiful, and so I prefer to have them out. Then as you move onto my desk, these are computer monitor stands that I picked up from Amazon. They kind of extend the use of my desk, so I'm able to keep my faith planners right here tucked away. And then on top of my desk, these are some clear acrylic organizers from the Container Store that are fabulous for pens, so you can keep them stored horizontally. I have a few small succulent containers that I use to keep pens, and then these clear acrylic drawers that are filled mostly with ephemera. This would be Felicity Jane ephemera, which I like to keep separate. And then I have a few more collections that I do like to keep separate. My Some Days collection, enameled dots at the top, and then some chipboard pieces as well. And then the last part of my desk over here is the spinning carousel from Michaels. It holds a ton of pens. You can see I have a love for pens and markers, so I have a lot organized over here, and then some various scissors and things like that that I use on a pretty regular basis. All right, as we move around the room, we get to a little bit more of the decorative part. That is another pegboard that I use to hold all kinds of tags and card sets that I work with during the year. There's a magnet board just for fun decorations, a little rainbow. This is my vision board. You can see that it hasn't gotten put together for 2022 yet, but I do have my word of the year on there, which is build. And this wonderful sign that my dad picked up for me, the Queen will not be accepting an audience. Over here, those are hoops at the top, embroidery hoops that hold all kinds of decorative pins that I have collected. And then this is just a fun project I did with a paper doll made by Kelly Bangs Creative, and then some more just fun storage pieces and decor items. So that is my current craft room setup. I am really proud of how organized it is. I love this room. It brings me a lot of joy to come in and work in here and to craft in here and to film in here. It has been one of my favorite places to get set up, and I'm really proud of how it has all kind of come together. Again, thank you for joining me for this walk through my craft room. If you have questions or looking for more information on anything you saw, make sure to leave it in the comments below. Also, just a reminder that I have a course over on Teachable that is all about creating a creative space that inspires you. I talk about how to organize, how to plan your space, and it doesn't really matter the size of space you're using. If it's organized in the right way, it can really spark your creativity. So if you're interested in that course, make sure to check out the link in the description box below. All right, I hope that you have a fabulous day, and as always, keep it creative.